look, knowing that you matter to somebody, that's the key. This is why I do it. You let somebody know they matter. What is disconnection?
Yeah.
Everybody's feeling disconnected because they don't feel they matter. They don't feel somebody cares. Everybody's doing the one-off, love you, you're great, thanks, you're amazing. But where's the consistency of telling somebody
Yeah.
they matter? And my
Yeah.
kid said, like, knowing that somebody loves them enough to every day send them that message makes them feel bulletproof. And for me, it's not just the energy release that I have because it's a very high frequency one. When I send that message, I feel really good. But they're also reading this beautiful message and their energy that is going way up because they're feeling love. It's the
Yeah.
highest frequency energy in the world. And you know what? There's so much hate and violence out there and misinformation and indoctrination from the same device that we're connecting with, that you want to be the foundation and the pillar of support and love to help them. They know they have a safe place from all the other crap that's literally on a phone at the same time.
Just a little taster of what is coming up on the show. But first, please do like this video and subscribe to the channel. And also tell your friends and family about this podcast. Please let us know in the comments if you would like to hear any particular topic in relation to sleep or health. And I will create a show especially for you, just for asking the question. So let's get on with the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Empowering Family Health podcast. I am amazing today. How are you doing? How are you all doing out there in the world? I am here with a wonderful, wonderful guest. We're going to be talking all about connections and relationships and how to empower our kids, but also any relationship that we have in general, in business and in life. We're going to be talking to the amazing Tammy Cohen. Let me read you out her amazing bio before I bring Tammy in and we have an amazing conversation. Tammy is a connector. She's an author, a podcaster, a speaker, consultant, so many things. She's also the founder of Women Beyond the Table. It's a network that empowers women to thrive professionally and personally. And she helps businesses align their mission and their brand messaging through her company, TC Brand Consulting. Tammy is an award-winning author of Text Messages to My Sons, a heartfelt guide inspiring parents to connect meaningfully with their children through mobile devices. And she also followed it with an expanded edition, Text Messages to My Sons, a guide to using mobile devices to communicate and connect with your kids. She also hosts Women Beyond the Table podcast, and she contributes it to parenting, connection, and business media as well. And Tammy and her husband and her 3 sons live in Manhattan, and I'm going to be going to visit her there sometime soon, please God. And together they own 18 restaurants on Manhattan's Upper East Side. And Tammy holds a BA from SUNY, SUNY, Alibani, and an MBA. Oh my God, I can't even pronounce all these. Just amazing qualifications. So she's an MBA from Baruch College, Zicklin School of Business. So she's highly qualified. And yeah, we're going to have a conversation with Tammy today. Tammy, you're very welcome. It's so great to finally see you. How are you?
Oh my God, it's so great to be here. I'm like, first of all, I adore you. I think you're the most brilliant person. But also, it's just an honor to be your guest and to be talking about connections. And like you, my dear, are a very connected woman also. And you also are very connected to your daughter, Leah. And I love that. I really do.
Yes. Yes, I am. I really am. It's really important, this whole conversation. And Tammy, you gifted myself and my community with your wonderful book, Text Messages to My Sons. You provided a copy for all of the participants and audience at the Rise Her Collective in May, just recently here in Ireland. And we, together with Deb Drummond, it was an evening, actually. It was an evening with multiple speakers and what have you. And your book went down very well. Everybody loved your book. Tell us, Tammy, I'm really intrigued about this book, and I've been reading through. I have a copy myself, and I've been reading through it. And tell me, what What intrigued you to write this book to your sons about all these messages? Tell me, I'm just so curious.
Well, that's, it's actually interesting because I started this practice with my sons who are literally, my oldest is 32, my middle son is 30, my youngest is 25. So I started that several years ago. And
Mm.
I never thought I was going to write a book. It wasn't about that. I just really wanted to, connect to my kids in a different way and change the conversation. And at the start of the first pandemic, the global pandemic in 2020, everything was shut down. And I was
Mm.
always kind of person that I had a lot of I didn't realize how many issues and how many limiting mindsets what a limiting mindset I had in a lot of ways. I was working, I was busy, I was traveling, I was running away. Um, and I realized there was a lot of things about myself that I had to work on when everything shut down. Because when you're busy, you can kind of deny or not think about things or,
And you're distracted as
avoid,
well when you're busy.
avoid and distract yourself.
Mm.
But when we
Yeah.
shut down, I was kind of like, I'm not happy. I'm not okay. I have this anger. I have certain things. I have resentment. I have to work on myself. So what do? I hired a life coach. I hired a business coach. But really, I just immersed myself. Remember those days? Like I was in course after I was in Unleash the Power Within, Tony Robbins. I was Joe Dispenza. I was, oh my God, Mind Valley, all over Mind Valley, just doing course after course, learning about limiting beliefs and mindset and gratitude and all kinds of amazing things. I've taken enough courses to be certified 100 times over, but I
Yeah,
never,
yeah, yeah.
I never pursued that. It was just about I wanted to understand myself or understand things, how they thoughts and beliefs really impact you. So, and also, I learned a lot about generational discord and all kinds of things because I want to
Mm.
understand where things come from, where my thoughts came from also. So what's really interesting to me is I said to myself, hey, they don't teach any of this stuff in school. They don't teach
Yeah.
us about gratitude or appreciation or accountability or mindset or worthiness. They don't teach kids this. And a lot of us aren't equipped to do this with our kids either, just because we didn't necessarily get that stuff growing up either. It's
Experience.
kind of it's a phenomenon now, and a lot of ascension is going on, and people are opening up. But back in the
Yeah.
day, like when it was kind of woo. You didn't talk about this stuff. If you
Yeah.
said to your parents, like, I have a limiting belief, they would tell you, what are you talking about? And they weren't
Yeah. Yeah.
interested. Like it just didn't work like that. You loved them, you gave them respect. They told you what to do. They didn't care what you thought. And you like accepted it. You stayed in the tribe and that was your belief. Okay. So I said to myself, they don't teach this stuff in school. In school, I want to share this with my sons. I want to send them messages of what I'm learning. I want to share wisdom with them because this stuff is amazing. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I started sharing wisdom. And you know what happened? I started telling them how much I love them, how grateful I am for them, how worthy they are, how extraordinary they are. Like it became such a heart-centered thing because I started becoming a lot more present. So every message would start off with, good morning, sunshine, because they are, and I would sign off with how much I love them. But in the body of the text would be something I learned or something I saw or something I realized I wanted to share with them. I didn't want to talk at them. Most of my texts prior, when they were in high school, when they, in those days were always reminders and commands and reprimands and things like that. Because yeah, like each stage of life, like when your kids are living at home, yeah, you need to remind them of things and they still have that dependence. But
Boundaries.
as they get older and they move out and they go to college and they're not living at home all the time
Yeah.
and they're not there, you have to kind of find a different way to talk to them and connect with them.
The ability to rest is the body's key to healing. Do you struggle with getting asleep at nighttime or staying asleep during the night and waking up the next morning feeling absolutely exhausted? My book, How to Get a Good Night's Sleep, is easy to understand, it's solution-based and it's packed with research to help you take back control of your night's sleep. My book is available on Amazon and it's also available on howtogetagoodnightsleep.com. This book is also available in audio and ebook. So get your copy today and start having the best night's sleep that you've only ever dreamed of.
But for me, it was completely unconditional. Like I had zero expectations of any responses. I wasn't doing it for them to tell me they love me. I wasn't doing it for them to validate me as a mother. I spent my whole life looking for external validation. I only judged
Totally.
myself by if somebody was giving me love or telling me that I did a good job. So I wasn't looking for any of that from them. I just wanted to share with them. And that opened up like a whole journey and of just amazing revelations and things for me and for them, for everybody.
It's incredible because I just there was so much that I heard in all of that. You talked about who where we come from, our roots, our generation, and that we were always curious about that. And for generations, we are always told what to do, and we complied, and that was just a given. We complied, right? We conformed, and now here's you, Tammy, empowering your kids to be at their best and what it is that they. And you're not talking at them, you're sharing what you have learned, what it has empowered you, and I can hear the excitement in what you've learned. So now you're sharing that, and in sharing it with your children as well, it's making it even more deeper for you on a personal level, but you're also being in a certain way with your children, and that's impacting them in them being in a certain way as well. So, and it's just rising the vibration all the time. That's what I can hear in all of that, and meeting your children where they are, in the how they speak type of thing, and also not having any attachments as well. Tammy, I'm just curious, how did your sons respond to all of this? I mean, did they think you were a bit like, because I'm sure there's many parents who weren't like, this isn't a typical thing that parents do, right? So how did your children respond to this?
Well, because nobody's having in-person conversations, like I grew up in you talked. I mean, we didn't have phones. I mean, you had to talk to people. And today, even in the restaurant that I own, like people are sitting at tables. They're sitting at the table and they're
Yeah,
looking at their phones. They're busy taking pictures. They're not like engaging. It's a very different
yes,
social way of communicating now. It's
yeah,
very much digital driven. So everybody has a
yeah,
phone in their hand, their pocket, or their bag. So I knew I had to like reach them using a mobile device because they'll look at it. So when I first started messaging them, they kind of found it interesting. They were like, that's they because of the type of message, because I was sharing,
yeah,
and also excited about the books I was reading, they thought it was cool. To be honest, one of the things that Tony Robbins said that really affected me was everything you need is out there. You don't need to spend a fortune of money to gain knowledge. There's
yeah,
so many thought leaders that lived many, many years ago, brilliant people who took them 30 years to figure something out. And they put it in a book. You could read the book
hmm,
in a week, find a mentor. And this kind of thinking is something that my kids could relate to. They could relate to the things that I was sharing with them, like How to Build a Habit, James Clear, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, Stephen Covey. I was
yeah,
using quotes, Robin Sharma, leadership. They could relate to it. And what really struck them was that I was doing this every day, that I was taking the time, the couple of minutes a day, to tell them I love them and to let them know
mm,
how worthy they are. But really what kind of blew them away was that I have a whole chapter on accountability in my book. So, there's like 11 chapters. Each chapter has a different name, and it's those
mm,
messages that fall under that topic are there. Accountability was where I was able to open up and tell them, like, apologize, like, let them know that I didn't do things right when they were growing up. When I would yell or scream or carry on, it wasn't anything that they did when they were little. It was me, that I wasn't happy. I was able to be honest with them. And if you want your kids to be accountable, you have to model it. If you want your kids
yes,
to have responsibility, have leadership, have gratitude, have any of these things, you have to model it. And I wanted them to know that they I had things from the way I grew up, and I was easily triggered, and it was never them. They didn't do anything because sometimes you scream at the cold. You scream, you yell because you're upset about something because I'm not saying sometimes, there isn't a situation where you have to react, but there's a way to react, right? I didn't have
yeah,
any
yeah,
control over my reactions, and I wanted them to know that. And when I started acting like that and doing accountability with them, they started seeing me as a human being. And
Yeah.
that's really was a big shift for them. So if you really want to know how my kids feel about the messages, they wrote the forward to the book. They wrote the
What?
forward of what it means to them to receive these messages. These are guys. These are guys who grew up in Manhattan. These aren't like, mommy, I love you kind of boys. It's not that way. But they said, like, look, knowing that you matter to somebody, that's the key. This is why I do it. You let somebody know they matter. What is disconnection?
Yeah, yeah,
Everybody's
yeah.
feeling disconnected because they don't feel they matter. They don't feel
Yeah,
somebody cares. Everybody's doing the one-off, love you, you're great, thanks, you're amazing. But where's the consistency of telling somebody
yeah,
they matter? And my
yeah,
kid said, like, knowing that somebody loves them enough
yeah.
to every day send them that message
Mm,
makes them feel bulletproof. And for me, it's not just the energy release that I have because it's a very high frequency one. When I send that message, I feel really good. But they're also reading this beautiful message and their energy that is going way up because they're feeling love. It's the
yeah,
highest vibrating frequency energy in the world. And you know what? There's so much hate and violence out there and misinformation and indoctrination from the same device that we're connecting with, that you want to be the foundation and the pillar of support
yeah.
and love to help them. They know they have a safe place from all the other crap that's literally on a phone at the same time.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. And what I heard as well, when you're talking about the reaction, learn how to react and what have you, and sharing that with your children and owning your stuff. Like, you made mistakes. We all make mistakes, and to own it and to say it out loud and to own it. You're being responsible. So you're teaching them responsibility and the accountability as well, I say, which is really, really important, because I think for teenagers, especially the world we're living in, and when they have that accountability for themselves and that self-reliance and owning who they are and recognize, and then being able to do something and create that space in between the stillness and the response, as we know, is so powerful in how they react and respond, not react, but to respond mindfully. Tammy, with all this, the devices and what have you, so I can really hear, there's a lot of bad talk about devices, and I talk a lot about it as well in terms of sleep and distracting us and the dopamine and all of that. It's distracting us from our sleep and what have you. But we can use these mobile devices to good as well. And that's what I can hear that you're doing with and meeting them where they are. And even not just for children, like, but anybody that we're in relationship with, sending a message, a heartfelt message. And you don't have to get a response straight away. You're just sending it. It's gone out there into the ears. It's gone out.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's unconditional. Okay. You're doing an
Yeah,
unconditional act. You're not expecting anything. And I'm a firm advocate of send it to anybody. If you don't have kids, send it to a niece and nephew, send it to your partner, send it to a friend. I
yeah,
have, I have young parents. Kids don't have a phone. They're babies. They're popping a message in their family group. And they're
yeah,
saying, I'm getting ready. I'm getting in the habit now because one day my child will have a phone. Probably won't be for a couple years. Middle school, there's a big movement now of parents giving flip phones. They don't want their kids on the internet, but they want to reach their kids. It's a very big movement. I'm 100% for it. But you could text on a flip phone. They could send that message of love. I have parents who are telling me, you know what, my kid is in, they're not getting a phone yet, but they're in school. I put a message in their lunchbox. Now, let me tell you something. This is the modern message in the lunchbox. I grew up, the kids, I would look, sit in the cafeteria, and the kids who got a message from their parents, I was always jealous. I was like, they're the luckiest kids. Didn't matter they had a Twinkie. They had a message from their mom, and it was always like a heart or a love you, have a nice day. Like, I was like, wow, they're so lucky. So this is
and
what
they're
this is.
consistent. Yeah, they're
Yeah. And,
consistent
and
messages with bills and bills and
Yeah,
bills.
every day they'd have a message and the kid read the message first. They didn't eat the lunch
Yeah.
and then read the message. Like, everybody looked for their kid.
Oh,
And I was always jealous of those kids. I was like, they're so lucky. And you
yeah,
didn't care about like what treat they had. That's you like they got a message. So I think it's really important that you could start anytime because each your kids are going through stages of independence and we want them to be independent. And that's why I tell parents, like, you don't get angry because your kid isn't taking time to message you. That's not what this is about, like message you back or tell you what
yeah,
they're doing. You're
yeah,
raising them to be independent, right? So you want them each stage to be a little more independent. That's healthy. So from lower school to middle school to high school to college is more, and you're giving them more independence. You have to treat them a little bit more independently. You
Yeah.
can't be like, where's the response? So here's the thing. I looked at my kids and I realized that this is a ripple effect for me, that I started messaging everybody differently. In business, I started talking to colleagues differently.
How does the messaging relate to bit? Because here's how I see it, Tammy. How you are in one area of your life is how you are in all areas of your life, because it's about who you're being. So how does that ripple into business?
Well, it's interesting because people really, the biggest focus in business is, how am I messaging my audience, and how am I, you know,
Mm.
have my product messaging, and does my audience like, are they, and it's all about the messaging for business. And I'm like, yeah, but what about your personal messaging? What about the way you speak to your kids, your husband, your
Yeah,
family, your friends? Because people buy from who they like and trust. People
yeah,
buy when they feel something's that's authentic. People buy when you make them feel good. You take away their pain points. You help them solve a problem. And it's how you speak to them helps them in that manner. It's like how you present to them. So if you're going to look at people and you're going to say, okay, I want to bring some empathy into my business. I want to bring some compassion into my business. I want to get curious and find out more about my audience and what they need. I want to get feedback. I want them to tell me so I can take some of their ideas and help them solve a problem more. It's how you kind of how you start looking at things and how you start messaging in general for yourself, how you talk to yourself is really how you're going to bring that into your business. You are the business. Okay. So what is in your head? Is it
Yes.
empathy? Is it compassion? Is it love? Is it like, okay, I want to serve? Is it, what is your goal? Is it just numbers maximization? If you're only going to maximize numbers, you're going to tell that, and the client's going to know. They're not gonna be
Yes.
loyal. Why would they be loyal to you? They can buy it from anybody. So as soon as the price changes and somebody has it cheaper, they're gonna buy it from you. So I'm like, build a relationship. And you could start when you build relationships and you connect, you do it in business too, and when you have that mindset. And what's really interesting to me, and I'll tell you, I didn't know, when I started this whole journey that I was really the whole time messaging myself. Like,
Very good.
and building more trust and faith even in God. Okay. I didn't
Yeah.
realize God had me start doing this with my kids because I really had to talk to it was really me talking to myself. And
Mm.
this year, I had a breast cancer diagnosis and I had surgery and chemo and radiation. And you know what? The hardest thing that ever happened to me was having to tell my kids that I have cancer. And I told them, and you know what those kids started doing? They started messaging me.
Oh
They
my
started
gosh.
messaging me, "We're strong, you're a strong woman, we got this."
Oh,
Why? Because I was messaging them resilience. I was messaging them resilience. So how can I not be resilient? How can I not act this way about what's going on if I'm messaging about it? And they not only did they say like, "You're amazing, we're strong, we're the Cohens, we have this," they were like, "What do you need? What can I do for you?"
oh my
John, they were
gosh.
doing all of my food shopping, all of everything they were doing for me. I couldn't walk. I couldn't walk for close to 3 months. It was crazy. And they did
Need it.
everything.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying you wouldn't have done it if I didn't message them, but I feel like the connection and it
Deeper.
shaped things. It
Yeah,
shaped
yeah,
us,
yeah.
and they're older.
It was more
And
emotional as well.
they do it with their kids and their friends and they're whoever they want to do it with. And I'm sure they are
Yeah.
messaging out, to people they love.
I can really hear the sense of belonging and the tribe and everyone looking out for each other and what have you, but emotionally as well as physically, all the different levels. Because as human beings, we exist in all these different dimensions. And you mentioned the word authentic as well. And being aligned with who you really are, like when you're authentic, because people can even see beyond or feel, because you mentioned feel, people will always remember how you made them feel. And
Exactly.
so, like, message goes way beyond words, even. It's how we're acting and showing up in the world. And if we are aligned with, our mission and what matters to us most, you mentioned about what matters to us and, our values and what have you. When we're aligned with all that and when we're authentic, then we're truly displaying our mission, what we really care about, and we're sharing that out into the world. Because I think we do the work on ourselves first, and then we start sharing it with other people. Ultimately, I believe that's what human beings are here in the world to do. And in doing that, we're reflecting it back to ourselves, and we're always a mirror what we see in other people. Because whatever triggers you in another person, it's something that's going on in you.
Yes.
It's not that they're being whatever, they're being awkward. It's what's triggering inside of you. So you are always being mirrored and vice versa. So again, it goes back to how you are in one area in life. It's about how you're being and how you're making people feel, how you feel about yourself, because it's the energy that you're raising. Tommy, I could talk about this all day. I mean, it's an absolute must. It's just so powerful. It really is. And women as well. We were talking earlier before we hit record. Women, now is the time for women to take back their control and their power, and be free and to lead. We're amazing leaders, Tommy, and you have your group that you're helping women business leaders do that. Um yeah, I totally admire what you're doing, Tommy, and you have your podcast as well, so you have regular interviews for empowering women as well. And I've listened to a few of your episodes. Tell me, I'm just curious, can you give us an example maybe of, or tell us how we can do, like, can you give us a sample of maybe some text messages that you sent to your sons from your book, maybe, or just to help parent, like, how did you get started?
No, it's really interesting because it's with doing the messaging. Like I break it down like, okay, you have Monday through Fridays when I send the message, and there's 960 minutes Monday through Friday that you are awake. Okay. We're talking 10 minutes a day. So if you tell
Oh,
me you don't have 10 minutes to send a message of love and gratitude, to send that message to somebody you care about, then you're not managing time. And it doesn't have to, you can pick the time of day. If you want to do it in the morning, you want to do it in the afternoon, you want to do it during your lunch break. The idea is consistency. So I
yeah,
like, always say to people, look, if you can't figure out what you want to say, my book has 215 pages of text messages. It's the
for
first book that's ever
inspiration.
written in text message format. It's completely
Oh,
text messages, and it's also divided into categories. So there's 11 different chapters. There's discipline and determination. There's time in nature. There's love and family. There's all the gratitude, appreciation,
wow,
accountability, mindfulness. There's different topics. But I always
lots
say,
of,
like, and even if you're tweaking a message that's there for you, what's beautiful is that I promise you, within no time at all, you will be doing it. You'll be so much more present. You'll start noticing things that you'll start
yeah,
sharing. I remember walking in the street and seeing a sign that says, God loves you. I never saw that sign before. And I'm living in Manhattan like a very long time. And I was like, wow, that was there. That was always there. And I told my kids, I took a picture. I go, see, there's messages to us everywhere if we just look and we're present.
oh, there you go, synchronicity.
I wouldn't have noticed it if I wasn't like already being more present because I'm taking the
There you
time to
go,
do something. So
there you
I have messages like on my phone. I should have probably brought a copy of the book over before the interview started, but I cannot, and I'm sending to them all the time. So every day, I haven't stopped, even though, I have 4 years of messages in the book, but there's still like another 2 years since then. So this is a great one. Okay, I can read you, and they're a little bit longer than what you text messages usually are sent. I get carried away when I send a message. However, and my sons will say to me, "Great message, long." It's like, because they're guys, they don't want to read a long message, but
go.
they do read them. So here's yesterday's message. I'll just read you one of my messages that I just sent. So, good morning, sunshine. So I say sunshine because their song "You Are My Sunshine" was
Yeah,
always in my head. Why is it good morning,
yeah,
sunshine? And I say, it made me so happy to see you yesterday. This is to my oldest son because he came by. You look great. I'm so happy to see you doing your thing, make deals, and building a financial empire. And I manifest Coen Brothers Financial Services. So I wrote Coen Brothers Financial Services Empire. Like, that's my
I
manifestation that I give to them. And then I
love
said,
it.
oh, we had a woman be on a table call this morning, number 58, a business protection presentation, the human factor, balancing people and protection in employment law. I said the presenter, who is a lawyer, gave a great quote. The worth of a life is measured by how we treat others. So I'm sharing a quote at a presentation. And I
Nice.
said, how different your experience will be and how much you will stand apart from all those in your line of work if you treat your staff, your providers, your contractors, and colleagues well, if you listen, you engage, and you are clear and transparent. You act with integrity and you inspire trust. You acknowledge work well done, say thank you, and coach, train someone who needs help. You do this without judging yourself, others, and situations. You observe and you are a solution provider. You listen and you don't blame, but get curious and discover what happened. You empathize first and you bring people into your vision. And then I end it with, you have what it takes. And I know you already operate this way. You are light years ahead of my generation. And I applaud you. And then I put hearts on it. Usually, and
Oh,
I wrote, I applaud you. I usually say like, and I love you, but I put the hearts. They know that means I love them.
Tammy, that's absolutely gorgeous. And I can hear that you're just planting seeds in their brain. You are this, you are that. You're just
Yeah.
pairing and acknowledging them, and you're seeing them. And what's the thing that when we were growing up, children are not seen and heard. Oh my God, this is anything but. It really is. It's just changing the whole trajectory of how children are being raised in the world. Tammy, I could talk to you forever. I know we're coming near the end. I just want to ask you, I'm a sleep coach, and just listening to you, and you mentioned the word present. By being present, and you're able to see more and observe more. And how do you find, are you sleeping well as a result of your work, that you feel more free and you're more connected and present?
Well, I've always had some like sleep issues, and I think going through, chemo and radiation and the trauma
Yeah,
of
those challenges.
this disease and surgery, plus my youngest son also had a serious health issue the same time I was having my issue. So I think, and also business, stress, and Mamdani is, a mayoral candidate in New York City. There's just a lot going on. So I think sleep probably does get affected. But I can tell you that during the day, my energy, once I send my message and I get my prayers in and all that stuff, the energy shift is definitely noticeable to me.
Yeah,
I get
yeah,
much, much happier and
yeah.
everything goes up. So I'm working on that. I'm gonna probably have to work with you for my sleep at some point too. But
And you know
ah,
what else?
yeah,
Your messages that when you're sending them, and send them first thing in the morning to this is what I'm hearing. When you send the messages first thing in the morning with gratitude, because when we start our day off with gratitude, it sets the
big
tone
difference.
for our day. And in the evening time as well, just before we retire for the day, and looking back on the achievements of the day and what I did well or what went well in our messages and sharing them with people, it really it tenfolds the energy as well. So Tammy, it's been great. I know you've got another call that you need to go to, and I've got to go and pick up my daughter. Our jobs are never done, are they? But listen, where
You
can
never
people
know.
find you? Tell us
The
where people
best
can find
place,
you.
sure, there's a couple of different ways. On my website is Tammy, Tammy, J is in Jack, Cohen, Cohen.com. So it's my name.com. Um, I have the connect at TammyJCohen.com email. And on Instagram and LinkedIn, you can find me Tammy J. Cohen. So put the J in, it's
Yeah.
Joy. That's my middle name. So Tammy J. Cohen, and it's easy to find me on any of those places.
Tammy, it's been incredible talking to you today. You're an inspiration, you're full of resilience, and you really are an ambassador for this work, really and truly. And I'm so glad that I met you, and I can't wait to meet you in person. And I wish you every success, Tammy. You really deserve it, and you're just an incredible woman. And go and connect with more and more women, because you are changing the world one person at a time. So thank you. God bless, and have a wonderful day.
And thank you. And I feel ditto on everything that you said. I'm telling you straight back. I can't wait to meet you in person either. Tell you the truth. You're
Sending you
amazing.
love. You
Thank you.
too,
And
Tam.
you're going to be a guest on my podcast. We're starting season 4. We're rebranding everything. So in 2026, we're going to like start figuring it all out. But I want you on too.
Amazing. I love it. Absolutely love it. Tammy, go and have a wonderful day. Thank you for all your inspiration today in our conversation. I truly love and admire you, and have a wonderful day, and I'll chat with you soon.
Take care, my friend.
I do hope you are enjoying these conversations, and to help me continue putting these videos and audio podcasts together, I do have an ask. I do need support to help me to keep bringing you knowledge and insights. There is a Patreon link, patreon.com /empowering family health, or you can make a donation via PayPal. All the links are in the description and the pinned comment. You can do a one-off or you can do a monthly support. So I'd really appreciate that. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Take care.